Okay. Ooh. Hold on. Okay. Nope. Hello. Check. Check, check, check. Hello, everybody. Am I live? I think I'm live. I'm going to turn that music down, I think, a little bit. Music. Oh, it's really not that loud. Okay. Wow. So I think I'm all set up. I hope. Hello. I'm going faceless today. I am nameful. I'm Jennifer Shipley from Doodle Punk Art. And I'm going to fill an order. So I have another order for a wrist mala. So I was going to make that tonight and get that in the mail. And then I also wanted to show some of the pieces that I have for sale. So I'm gonna grab a couple things right now, real fast, before I get started, and give people a chance to join the chat and make sure that everybody can hear me. And if there's any issues, do let me know. I am opening the chat so I can see your comments if you leave a comment. And let me know who you are, because I'm going through Restream and I can't see your username. So just let me know who you are and say hi. Okay, I'll be right back in a second with some pendants. Okay, so let's move everything around a little bit here. So I have plenty of things completed, ready to ship. I'm going to show you this one because this is one of my favorites. Let's get the light on it. Sorry about the wiggling. I hope you don't get seasick. I do. That is Imperial Jasper. And I wrapped it with copper wire. And you can wear it either way. It's reversible. And that is $135 that's my show price, off Etsy price. This is lepidolite. It's a lot of fun. And this one is $45. And then I've got a sardonyx, actually, I believe, because it's got the stripes. That one is $75. And then I've got this lovely unheated citrine. That one is $65. And I have chains to match everything. This is a piece of jasper that I found at Westport and tumbled. Some people call that dragon's bloodstone. And that one is $55. And I have a Kambaba jasper in that same design with coin-shaped bead for $75. And then this is pink tourmaline, sorry, in albite. Took me a second there. wrapped kind of freeform. You can see how flashy the albite is. And that one is 115. And then I have a red phantom quartz with a little eye there. And the eye is aquamarine. And that one is 115. This one's really fun. This is blue lace agate. And that one is 115. And then here's another crystal that I found. This is carnelian I found down near Toledo, Washington, not Ohio. It's very gemmy. That's $80. And then on the lower end, price-wise, I've got a $25 pendant here. It's blue lace agate. Sorry about the wiggling. My light. And then I've got a very similar one with carnelian. For $25. And let's see, let's look at the sphere here. This is fun. And that's copper and sterling silver accents. This is a phantom quartz. So what happened was when this crystal was growing, the growth conditions changed, so it stopped, and some other minerals got in the vug and started growing on the crystal, and then the conditions changed again and sealed them in. So you can kind of see when you get the angle just right, you can see lines like planes where that was the outside of the crystal, and then that got sealed inside. So very cool. And that one's $75. And let's see, what else should we do? Here's a unheated citrine. It's got a smoky termination. It's a pretty simple sort of freeform wrap. You can see it's got that really nice lemony yellow color. This is not heat treated amethyst. This is $65. And here's a nice green phantom quartz or lodolite. Let's see, it has a phantom in there that grew chlorite on it. So they cut this to showcase that chlorite. Yeah, it's very mossy looking, or like an underwater scene. And that one's $85. And then this is fossilized coral. And I wrapped again in copper. And I always like to make the backside pretty too. Even though you're the only one that sees it, I like the whole thing to be complete. So that one is 135. And then this one's fun. This is orbicular jasper, ocean jasper actually, which is a type of orbicular jasper. And I added some accent beads and had fun with color. I want to make more of these. This was fun. This one's kind of along the same lines. It's sort of shaped like a guitar, kind of. But I didn't really have any plan when I made it. I just started bending, kind of doodling with the wire. And this one's 225. This one is 150, the other one. And then here's another eye pendant. Oops, my display got a little bent. And this is a smoky citrine, quite a dark smoky termination, with a carnelian eye. It's pretty big. 115. And then this is probably one of my favorite ones I've made. This is petrified palm wood, and I wrapped it in copper and brass, actually. There's brass there. So I like the back. It kind of looks like a man running, sort of like a, I don't know, he's got a swirly head and chest area, and then he's got like spaghetti legs. Okay, and now I'm going to get started wrapping, or not wrapping, making the mala, and then I can show more pendants later. Hold on, let me put this away. Okay, so I am ready. So I am making a 27 bead wrist mala, and the reason it has 27 beads is because if you go 4 times around the mala, it is the equivalent of a 108 Tibetan japa mala. So the reason they do 108 beads is so that every time you go around the mala one time, you've done 100 mantras, because that's assuming that, because we're all human, that there are going to be 8 of them where your mind wandered. So now I use my mala, more like prayer beads or affirmation beads. I'll say an affirmation. And this is beeswax. So, and I should have explained, this is Ceylon thread. You can get it at Shipwreck Beads, at Fire Mountain. But I use the 0.9 millimeter because it holds up to 85 pounds of weight. So it's just proven to be a very, very long-lasting material to make a mala out of. And considering that you're using it, and when you're doing your mantras or prayers, you're kind of moving the beads around with your fingers, and so you want it to be strong. And then, sometimes gemstone beads are a little bit sharp, along the edges. So, for longevity, I've just found that this lasts forever. So, when you coat it with the wax, it will help seal in all the little fibers so it doesn't fray, and it'll make it stiffer so that when you, are doing the knots, that you know, it's easier to grip. It's just all around, like, you don't want to do it without the wax. And then at the end, in order to feed it through the hole, I really put a lot of wax on the end because it will make it stiff and somewhat pointy. And I'll pick whichever end has the best point after I've kind of done this, you know, on both ends. And then that's the end that I'm going to use to feed most of the beads on. So let's take a look at these. Let's see, setting up my little magnifier here because I am blind. So let's see. I would say this one's just straighter, so I'm going to use this end. So this end, I'm going to make my first knot on. I'm going to get my magnifier out of the way. I don't think I'm actually going to need it. I think you're just going to need the light. So I want to make my first knot about that far away from the end so that we have enough room to work with at the end when we are doing the, I'm going to show you how to make a macrame slip knot, assuming that my phone battery lasts. If my battery dies, what I can do is unplug my headphones, turn the music off, and finish the video. Sorry, I wanted it a little bit closer to the end. Finish the video with no music. So I think we all can survive a little while without any music. Not that I need to move this down. And I also didn't tell you how long to make the to make the cord. I just realized. I wrap it around my wrist 3 times with 2 long tails. Actually, I'm just going to leave that there because it's not coming undone and it's fine. We will have plenty of room. I always have tons of room at the end. And then if we do run out of room, we can always, you know, add beads on this end. But that's not a considerable amount of room there on the end left. Not a huge waste. Hey, hello everybody. Hi. How are you guys doing tonight? It's nice to see that I've got a number of viewers tonight. How awesome. So I wish I had planned ahead and had everybody, you know, get some supplies so that you guys could do it with me. But this will be in my lives on my YouTube, on Facebook. I think this one has a hole that's too small. That's a reject. So I'm going to get my little reject bin. So now, if they're rejects, I mean, they can still be used for earrings or whatever, or I can drill the hole out. But I like to feed all the beads on at the beginning so that I can kind of pick the order and make sure it all looks good. And then also just to make it, well, for a number of reasons, but to make sure I don't make a mistake and put on too many beads or put on beads that, you know, don't quite look good together. So maybe I should have put a red one here, or, you know, I try to kind of, you know, pick, you know, there's only so many red ones. So I try to space the red ones out and then, you know, alternate from color. So here I did a dark one, but it's kind of a transparent dark. So I might do a medium opaque, like this one that has a little fleck in it. You know, I just try to make it look kind of random, even though it's not. But, you know, spaced out and balanced. So every so often there's going to be a white one. Every so often there'll be a really dark one. So now I have a little fleck of red there. So I'm going to skip doing anything red for a minute and maybe go back to a lighter color. And I'm feeding them all on ahead of time, also because it just goes faster when I do the knotting. I find as I work that I work a lot faster when I assembly line things. So, you know, when you have a repetitive motion, I'm not sure if this one's gonna go through. Oh, look at that. That's because we got the end really nice and pointy. So I think it's about time for a red. I'm just going to do a, maybe I'll do a red mottled. That's a really pretty one. Actually, no. We'll do two solid reds. We'll do one on this end and one on the other end, provided the holes are big enough. Okay. Okay, and after that, I'm just kind of gonna pick sort of a medium color that I have a lot of. And I say we do something light. Come on, where's the hole? This is the boring part. It gets fun when I'm tying the knots. I really enjoy tying the knots because it feels meditative, which I'm making a tool for meditation, so it makes sense. So tomorrow night I am going to make selenite ornaments because I have an order for those. So that should be fun. And I'm going to wire wrap them. So you can apply the same thing. You can use thicker wire, because I'm going to use 24 gauge wire. You can move up to, if it's a small crystal, you could do 22. If it's a large crystal, you could use 20. I do a lot of them actually with 21 gauge wire. So that's a real different bead right there. That kind of has a fancy jasper look to it. So let's do something dark. How's the music? Can you hear me? Anybody there? Okay, all right, it's time to give this another coat of wax. Okay, that looks pretty good. Do kind of a mid-color. That one. And how about a white one? It's time for something different. I kind of want that one, I kind of want to switch the place of those two. Because the other ones ended up looking kind of similar. So let's see how that looks. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. So about let's do maybe I'll do something with red. Let's see. So we're about halfway. Okay. I'm gonna do a lighter one. And then just gonna do a darker one. Pick a middle of the road color. It's a little too similar. This one's got a little bit of red in it. So I'm gonna go in there. It's so close. Come on, you. There we go. Okay. Do something clear. Okay. Do something with red. This AI music is so weird. It sounds really good, and then all of a sudden, it's like, wow. That didn't make sense musically. Let's see, I like that one. I think we need to add a little bit. We are getting close to where I want to put another solid red. So let's do maybe a little darker than that. Actually, we'll do a really dark one. Come on in there. And notice when I swipe along there, I kind of twist it in the same direction that the twist goes. The thread is twisted, so I'm just trying to make the twist a little bit tighter, because as it unravels, it gets thicker. There we go. And then sometimes if you twist it while it's going in, let's see where we're at, it'll help it go through a tight bead. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. Let's do the red one. It's mostly red. 23. Kind of a medium colored one. 24. Just a dark one. 25. Light one. 26. And a medium one with a fleck of red. 27. Okay. All right, how's that look? Good color combo. Kind of evenly spaced. Not too perfect, not too imperfect. All right, let's double check our count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 27. All right, we're perfect. So I can get all the beads out of the way. And before I start tying the knots, maybe I'll show you some that I have in progress right now. I've got a very long one. And now when you're finished, there's something you can do, and I'll show you, to make it lay smoothly. I haven't done that yet to this, but this is carnelian. Obviously it's going to be a full-length mala. I love that. That might just have to be mine. Oh, this one's close. I don't know what I was doing here. Oh, bracelets. Yeah, a couple bracelets. Yeah, not malas, just bracelets. And it's dyed agate with black agate. And then this is the guru bead is agate, and this is a combination of unakite and agate, and I'm not totally sure. I've forgotten, it's been so long, but I did a pattern. So, yeah, what is that? It's probably green agate, I would guess. Looks like green agate. Yeah, because it's got like flecks of yellow in there. I don't think it's jade. I couldn't be certain though. This is jade, or, well, this is called new jade, so I think it's serpentine, but look at how pretty that is. So green, so pretty, and it's not dyed. This is natural. It's very, very, very gemmy. Let's see, I've got a amethyst with moonstone. You can see that A little flash in there. There's the serpentine stone and a rose quartz. And more mystery. I'm not sure if it's jade or I think it might be jade actually, now that I'm looking at it as a whole. I think it's probably jade. Pretty though. I've got some bone and wood. Well, it's a different thread. It's thicker. I don't like it. It's hard to work with. And then here's another one of those new jades in the wrist mala size, which is serpentine. And that is wood. And looks like a bracelet that I was making. Oh, here's a chakra bracelet I was making. What do we have in here? A whole bunch of unfinished stuff. Yeah, this is Amazonite. And I'm close to done. We've got the macrame slip knot already done. So that one's close. And you can see it lays closer. I've worked with it a bit. Oh, this this is azurite malachite. Pretty stuff. Almost done. And these are 40, which includes domestic shipping. This is agate. It is dyed. This one is hematite. And you can see I did a guru bead instead of the macrame slip knot. Those are a little bit more. This is, what's that called? Snakeskin jasper? It's got chatoyant bands in it. I don't know if you can see that. Camera doesn't really do it justice. Tiger eye in progress. Here's an unakite. Unakite, whichever one you want to say. Pretty. Tiger's eye. Oh, this was mine. This is actually mine. Yeah, this is the one I used to wear forever. It needs to be. So this is what you do. You just regularly swipe these. You can see, you know, I wore the heck out of this thing. So you just re-wax the cord like this. Real simple. And then do it again on the inside. And you do that with the macrame ones too. And it just lengthens the life of the thread. It holds all the fibers down. It protects it, and it also makes it so that the knot, it doesn't slip very easily anymore. important. So if you wear it as jewelry and you wash your hands, then you have to, you know, reapply the wax because it will wash with soap and water. It'll wear itself off. But yeah, so how you use a mallet is so you always go towards you, and you do it with your thumb and your middle finger. This finger represents your ego, and so you're trying to leave your ego out of this. So some people do it like this. I do it like this. A lot of people do it like this. And you go towards you, not away from you. You go towards you. So this would be one, and you'd say whatever it is. You know, I feel at peace with the world. 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 And then you go all the way around. And then when you get to the guru bead, you don't pass it, you flip it around. And then you go always towards you. I feel at peace with the world. I feel at peace with the world. I feel at peace with the world. And then around all the way to the guru bead. And then you flip it around. And then I feel at peace with the world. I feel at peace with the world. And you can see, because I haven't been wearing it, that I haven't been practicing. But that's how you do it. So here's another one in progress, another tiger's eye. But you can see, you know, the thread lasts a long time. That's why I like the Ceylon. This is magnesite. I couldn't remember if it was magnesite or halide. This is black agate or onyx. Picture jasper. Again, $40 a piece, which includes shipping. Amethyst. Very, very pretty amethyst. Here's a different design. That is snowflake obsidian with mountain jade, which is dolomite, dyed dolomite. I had to look to see if that was mountain jade or coral. It could be coral. I'd have to look with a loupe to tell you. You can tell because dolomite has like little crackles in it, in the mountain jade, dolomite. And the coral will not. Okay, so we have some agate with agate, different color agate, little accent beads here. That was pretty. That is goldstone. You can see how sparkly that is. Trying to get my light in the right spot. Okay, carnelian. And this is a mystery stone. I think it's a mixture of different greens. So I see some moss agate. No, actually that looks like, right there, that looks like chrysocolla, what's it called when it's in quartz? Gem silica. And then, you know, that looks like moss agate. These are probably just different green jaspers, fancy jaspers. But yeah, it's just a mixture of pretty colors. If you like green, oh, here's one of these, but on red. So that's what it looks like on red. And here's a little itty bitty guy with the goldstone. As you can see, I have been busy. There's another tiger's eye. This one's got some blue tiger's eye mixed in there. So you can see that blue in there. If you can see that. Okay, and the last one. This is genuine turquoise. So, oh, where are the ends? There we go. Yeah. That one's a little bit more because turquoise is expensive. But yeah, that's all of the ones that I have close to finish, except for I have another bag of long ones that are in progress. So, busy, busy, busy girl. And I'm going to leave mine out because I lost it. So now I've found it. Actually, got to wear on this hand because I got my Apple Watch. And then this is how I tighten it. Just kind of hold the, hold that with my, you get it. I don't need to talk. Okay, so back to the mala. So I put a knot on the other end, like a knot that I can get out, a temporary knot on the opposite end just so that the beads don't fall off. And then it gets a little awkward at first, but once you get the hang of it and you get your rhythm, it gets really simple. So start with the first bead pushed to that knot, and I'm just using the bead to make sure that's tight. And then I like to have these kind of spread out a little bit. Not that they're gonna stay that way, but okay, how do I do this? Okay, so I want this knot to be as close to that bead as possible. So this gets a lot easier when you have less beads on there. I'll shove this bead down to here, pinch it, and then pull the string. And then I finish the knot by pushing that bead into it. I use that bead to tighten the knot so that now you have a bead that doesn't move. It's very tight in there. Okay, so when I do this, I don't know how to describe what I'm doing. I make the threads, butt the thread up to that last bead and then pull it through. And ideally, if I had a bead that was right there next to my finger, it'd be quicker than having to slide them all along there. And then I use the next bead to tighten the knot. And then here you can see now I've got two very, very tight beads. And now people do this with tools. I just do it this way. This is how I've figured out how to do it. So there's actual like knot tire contraptions that you can buy. Actually, I might be able to grab that before I pull it through. See how that works. It kind of works. I don't know if it's any easier. Three very tight knots. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if that really helps to have it right up there or not. We'll see. We'll try it a few different ways and see what goes the fastest. So if I grab that first, yeah, that's kind of awkward. But it might just be, I have to practice it. Let's see. Yeah, that does actually kind of work. Yep, that works. 3 tight beads. So seems to be going okay that way. So we'll try it a few more times. See if I mess up. Okay, so I would have to have that bead right there so that I could grab it and pull it through and then just pull. Okay, that seems to work. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you either do it that way or do it like this, where you're not grabbing the bead, you pull it through, and then you slide a bead up and grab it and pull it. So either or, you know, both work. It's just whatever's easier. I think for me, it's kind of easier just to do it this way because it pulls through faster here. And then I'm just pretty quick at sliding that bead up there. But somebody else, you know, might find it's different for them. But that's 2 ways you can try. So again, if I did it the other way, I'd have to slide another bead up here. Then I would, you see, the problem is the bead goes sliding around a lot. So by the time I get to this, it's already slid down to there. It would have to be, you have to be right there so that I could just grab it and then pull this through. So, which I find it harder to pull the thing through that way. And I don't know that it's any better because that one, that knot's a little loose. So, so yeah, you can experiment, but I am gonna do it my other way. Okay, because now I have a knot to pull out. So, which is very tricky when you have a twisted thread. So I have this little magnifying lamp. Okay. Let's make sure it's the whole thing is coming through. Yep. Okay, got it. Sometimes what you get when you're trying to undo a knot is you get 2 of the 3 strands and then you have a mess. It makes you very, very sad. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not going to do it that way. Yeah. Okay. So let's get my lamp out of the way. Sorry for making you seasick. right. So yeah, that's way faster for me. The moving the knot up or the bead up is a little awkward, but still I think it's faster for me because then I can go straight into the next knot without any fiddling and just slide it up. And I mean, once you do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over, and over, you get like a rhythm, and then it just goes fast. Yeah. So, but that's another way you could do it if you want to experiment and see which one works best for you. And there you have it. So let's see how quickly we can get through all these knots so we get to the macrame before my battery goes dead on my phone. Sorry, I'm not a very good multitasker. Think about something else. My hands start doing some other weird thing. Okay. I have a new iPhone that I just have to activate. So this phone that I'm using now, the battery has been bad since I got it. Like shortly after I got it, it started having issues charging, and then I just never took care of. Like I should have sent it back and said, no, there's something's going on here. But you put it on the charger and it just like randomly, there I'm talking and messing up. It randomly decides it's not going to charge. So you have it on the charger, you're thinking it's charging, and it's not. So I was stressing to get it charged before I went live, and I didn't quite get it to 100%. So we'll see. Also, I was making dinner and vacuuming the floor. I got almost the entire floor vacuumed. I got my dinner made, and then I had to put it in, serve some up and put it in a bowl in the refrigerator so that I could eat it, because I had 11 minutes left before I had to go live, and I still had to get the phone logged in. Because I found my phone charges better if I turn it off. And sometimes it'll charge, but then as soon as I open anything, do anything, then it'll suddenly decide, I'm not going to charge. So, but I have a new iPhone 16 with the brand new case for it, with my robot conglomerate pattern on it. So that's a lot of fun. So I'm excited. So, and actually it doesn't have any more memory than my phone does, which I filled my phone up like immediately. So I have issues, but my mom got it free, so she's giving it to me for Christmas. So, hey, it's a battery that works. Maybe the camera will look better. Maybe the mic will be better. Oh, I'm not using a mic. I'm using my trusty old plug-in earphones. Apple EarPods. the other ones, they don't sound very good. They don't, there's like a little bit of a delay too. There's a delay. And it doesn't sound good. Okay, last knot. I mean, not the last knot. The last knot before I have to change gears. Okay, so we need one more knot in here, and you know, if I planned ahead better, I would do this ahead of time. I would just feed on an extra bead, but honestly, I'm a little hesitant to do that because I'm autistic and I'm afraid I'm gonna knot that bead on there too. So it just prevents me from making a mistake if I do it this way. I know how I work. I know how to use my brain. All right, see, we have tons extra here on the end. So before I go too far, let's make this lay right. See, it's a little wonky right now. So basically, you just take each bead, slide it back and forth in the space, and wiggle that knot. Slide back and forth, wiggle the knot. And I'll open up a little bit of space in there, which will make it easier when you're doing your mantras. You want just a little tiny bit of space in there so that the bead will kind of roll in your fingers, and it makes it easier to go between beads, especially if you have bigger hands. Though I can do these with 8mm beads too. These are 6. I usually use 5 or 6mm. Those little, there's a couple in there, the new jade and the gold stone, the small one of each of those. Those were 4mm. Actually, the new jade is somewhere between 4mm and 5mm. I found that there's a little bit of a, something will say 6mm and it'll be actually like 5.5mm. So there's a little variation, which is why all of my malas in my shop show a different length, because it depends on the bead. So now you see it's nice and soft and smooth, and it's not all kinky and weird. If you see a spot where it's kind of, well, I mean, if you twist it, you're not going to be twisting it when it's on you. It's going to stay pretty much. But if you twist it, you'll see it's kind of starts to kink. So if it's all straight and you see a spot that it's just looking a little like it's not quite laying right, you just work on that spot This one right here. Yeah, that's just so that it looks good. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so I made a jig to do the macrame knot, which surprisingly worked. So I'm gonna use the jig that I made last time, because normally I use safety pins and attach it to my leg, to my jeans, and I'm allergic to safety. I'm allergic to nickel, so then my fingers peel off. So this way, I don't have to lose my fingertips. How awesome is that? Oh, first things first. Gotta tape the jig down. And this was just like, the first video I did, I tried something else, it didn't work. I think it just tried this, it was really awkward. And then when I did the next video, I was like, oh, how about we try this? So actually, I'm not quite centered on the camera, or in front of my body for that matter. So, and actually I like this so much that I probably am going to just coat the whole thing with packing tape so that it doesn't tear. And, oh, shoot, I can't do this yet. Gotta think, Jen. Coat the whole thing with packing tape so that I can reuse it and it doesn't rip. So, I'm gonna do I didn't need to do it that way, but whatever. Okay. So yeah, before we do the taping down on the table, I need to attach these. And the wires around the back. It doesn't really matter which way I bend them, just as long as they're tight. So that's what I did. Okay, and now we can tape it down. Tape it down in the center of the screen so that you can see what I'm doing, hopefully. Okay. All right. Pull that all the way up there. This one I have lots of extra room, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so since this is not long enough for me to do anything with, I'm going to use this last little bit. Oh no, that's kind of short. Never mind. I mean, I could do it, but it's a pain in the butt. So we're gonna make it easy on us because life's hard enough as it is, right? Okay. So I am not going to coat this with wax because I want to glue it. and the wax won't interfere with the glue. So what we're doing here is a macrame sliding knot, and we're going to do a very simple square knot. So start with the left side, cross it over the top of the center cords, then pass this one underneath and up through that hole. Grab this end and pull tight. Okay. Now it's kind of turned itself. I don't want it to turn, so I'm going to loosen it, put these back the way they were, tighten it. Okay. And you know what might help is if I pull this side, pull both of these all the way to there, and then I might, to keep it tight, so I'm just figuring this out as I go. I'm taping the string to the table. You can't really see. And I'll tape this one. I don't know if it's going to stay because it's waxed, but that way this will stay in place. All right, so we're figuring out as we go. Okay, so we already did the left side, so now we're going to do the right. So you cross the tail over top of the center threads. Then you take the left side and you put it underneath the tail and up through the hole, underneath everything basically, and then tighten them. Okay, and then we go back to the left side. We make a little, that's a Q. Cross it over top of the tail and underneath both the center threads and the tail. Pull it up through, tighten it. Okay, now we're making a P. Go underneath the tail and everything, up through the hole, and tighten it. And we're going to do one more set. Make a Q, over the tail, under everything, up through the hole, tighten it, make a P, over the tail, under everything, and up through, and there we have it. That easy. Okay, I'm going to take it off. Take everything off. And let's see if I can do this without ripping my jig. Okay, not too bad. It's not too bad. Okay, just undo our little wire pieces. And pull those out. I'm going to save them for next time. I love the jig, I have to say. It is so much easier. And now I've tried macrame boards, but they're just too big for what we're doing. So now you can see, hold on, I'm gonna put my beading mat down so that you don't get that reflection. But now you can see we've got a lovely sliding knot. So now to finish it, so this knot, you know, it slides both directions, these two ends slide through it. Okay, and first we're going to deal with these ends. Now, I used to just snip them. I used to glue them and snip them. But now I do something, I have something called a thread zapper. blister? How did I get a blister? How do you think I did that? Obviously I was doing something. Who knows? Who knows? I do so much. I do too much to remember what I do. Okay, so this is hypocement, and it looks like we had a little leak, which it probably leaked out of that hole, you know, out of where it connected. Sometimes it happens. I'm going to remove that because I want the needle to be open and unobscured. So I'm going to carefully remove that. When it leaks like that, that's an indication that the needle is a little unstable. Unfortunately, that happens. But this is GS Hypocement, and they have a couple different versions. I know of two versions. They have the one that's for fabric, which I bought and I didn't like it. I have used this to seal all the knots on my slip knots for my necklaces, and it does a fantastic job. Okay, so what I want to do, and I wish I could zoom in for you because, let's see. Okay, hold on. I'm sliding my lens over so that I'm kind of as close to the center of the screen as I can be. No. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so what I want to do is keep these things from sliding out. So, boy, I wish I could zoom in closer for you. So, we'll start with this side. It's going underneath this little, this little, I don't know what you want to call that. It's coming out underneath that little knot. And so I'm going to stick my needle up in that knot. And I have this paper here to collect the mess that comes out once the glue starts coming out of the needle. And I always do this a little bit because it tends to get a little bit clogged. Once it starts coming out, it comes out fast. So key is to get it in there as quickly as you can. Get it all the way in so that you can get some in on the inside. Okay. Now we're just going to let that dry. Turn it over, try not to touch it. And there's some little light. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side where it's coming out here. We're going to stick the needle up underneath that thread. Okay, and now I got this gloppy mess squeezing out of the needle, so hence the piece of paper. To clean it off, and then very quickly before a whole bunch starts coming out the hole, get it in between those two threads. Get it in there. Oops, didn't quite get it in there. There we go. Go all the way through, and I kind of squeeze slightly and let some come out, and then voila, there we go. Set that down for a minute and clean as much of that off as I can and try to get the needle back in the hole before you get a big glob because then it's really hard to get it back in there. You got to clean it off again. And clean it off, and that's all of that for now. Okay, now while this cures, you don't want to touch it. Get a little piece of wax that on there. I don't know if it matters. Maybe we can clean it off later. Okay, so while these dry, I want to touch them because it makes these long, it sticks to your finger and then makes these long strings. Yeah, I'm just getting little pieces of wax off. Okay, so while that happens, let's deal with the sliding ends here. So these two ends that slide. So we want it to be large enough to fit on, most people's hand. Everybody's hand, really. So, that is like plenty of room. Okay, so that's really big. I usually do a little bit less, and I'll just show you what I do. So let's just pull them tight. And the only reason you don't want to go too long, hold on, I gotta get my thing out of my way, is just because you'll have these long dangly things that'll get in the way. Just be annoying, I guess. And, it kind of puts them at risk for getting damaged. So, because my wrist is small, that's how long I did it for me. And I usually go a little bit longer on the ones for my shop. Plus, actually, depends on the bracelet. So these are 6mm, these are 5.5. So it's a little bit smaller. So I don't need it to be like much longer than that. Honestly, that would probably be a good length. So I'm gonna just tie a knot. So you have to do something on the ends to keep it from sliding through the hole, through the slip knot. Okay. I'm going to go about that long. I'm not tightening it all the way though. I'm going to do them both at the same time and kind of work back and forth so that I can get them the same length and make sure that it's long enough. So I'm going to kind of match that side. Okay, let's see how big that is without tightening the knot. That's plenty big. Okay, so I don't want to totally tighten the knot yet either. Pull it back into position, because what I want to do is make sure that they're the same length. So I actually think we're making it bigger than it needs to be. So that side being the shorter side, I'm going to take this one down to match that one. So down. Okay. And then because, now if you look, actually never mind. I was going to say one side was a little shorter than the other. It was actually longer. Let's make sure these are snug. Okay, so now I'm going to slide this knot this direction. Now, if this one was a little bit shorter than the other, I would slide the knot this way. And that's just how I get them perfect, you know. Sometimes I have to go back and forth and go, okay, this one I have to slide that way, and this one I have to slide this way. But this one didn't turn out that way. Okay, so now I like on this one the white little gem, little crystal bead. Then I am going to want one of these to tighten it. So I think those are all rejects. Let's get some new ones off. What do I have going on here? That's what I have going on here. Okay, I'm just going to take a few off. Yeah, I look for the ones that have the holes in the center, and the holes are not too small, because they are small beads. Now, I got these a long time ago at Shipwreck Beads, and I only use them for my malas, because most of these beads, the holes are too small. So I don't use them for anything else. I'm going to use my magnifying lens so I can see. Okay. Now, this one needs a little wax. Nope. That's why we chose the other end to put all of our beads through. It was a better end. This one I cut with different snips. I have my favorite snips that do such a good job at cutting these. And I found it's hard to, like, you have to pull kind of tight and then snip it, or you get a bunch of different length fibers, which that makes it really hard to get it through the holes. There is a bunch of weird fibers, but we did it. Oh, that's why. That was the wrong end. That was our macrame knot end. So, yeah, it was like, I'm surprised this doesn't seem like it was waxed. I recognize this end. This is the one that was bending. I didn't like the fact that it was bending. So, oops. I don't know. Nope. Let's just cake it with wax. As much wax as we can get on there. Okay. Cross your fingers, hold your breath. Ha ha ha. Yay! Okay, so we got it on the right string now. Okay, so I'm not done with the hypo cement yet. Since the cord ends get tugged on, I like to just put a little bit of glue in there. And I will scrape off the wax. Scrape off some of that wax just to help the glue reach the thread. Okay. I want this part scraped off too. Just double check. I'm twisting it. I'm kind of scraping it. Okay. So now let's get our glue back out. And I don't like doing it on this surface because I would really hate to drop glue on there, but that reflection is kind of annoying. So let's see. Okay, I'm trying to get myself my lamp in the right spot so it's not blocking your vision, but that I'm not out of frame like that. Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, I do have to get it right just because I can't see very well. Okay, that's good. Right there. Okay. I do have to do that. So now I don't want these to come off. So the long one, I'm just going to tie a knot on, and I'm going to work on the short one first. So this is going to be a little messy. So first, I'm going to put just a little bit of glue all around the thread where the bead is going to go. The bead will slide onto the glue. Okay, now while my glue oozes a mess onto that piece of paper, oops. Okay, just have to look and see where my little tightener bead is, which you may or may not use. So I am just bringing that knot as close to there as I can with my fingertips. And then I want some glue. Oops. Some glue right at the end of the bead and on the thread that I'm about to cinch that knot down on top of. And that's just gonna hold it more secure. Since you're going to be grabbing onto that bead to tighten your bracelet. Okay, let me get my little handy dandy knotting tool, otherwise known as a bead, which I attempted to pick one with a big hole. Okay, and just really, really tighten that knot. Okay. And that glue in there will just give it a little extra security. Okay, so now let's do the same thing to the other side. So I've got a bead here, and we've got our very, very oozy glue. Let's unooze the glue. And so put a little glue all around. Not too much because I don't want it to squish out when I slide the bead down. I just want the bead to slide right over top of that perfectly. Okay, then make a knot. And bring it down pretty close there. Get all the oozy glue off, and then get that right down in the hole. It actually fits in the hole. I just squirt some in the hole, and then put a nice little dab on the thread right next to the hole. Okay. Slide that knot down. And I don't know if you've noticed how I wrap the thread around my, these fingers back here so that I can then, hold this steady and push that knot in. Okay, and then before I get that little bead helper, I'm going to de-ooze my glue again and put the cap on. Okay, and we're not quite done with that yet, but we're close. Okay, so now I'm not even going to remove the knot. I'm just going to snip it so that it's easy, and I'm going to pull it tight so that I get a better end. And feed on our little knot tightener. Slide it down. All right. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So now we're ready to snip off the extra, and I leave a little tail about that long, and then I just match the other side. Put about that long. They're both pretty much the same. Okay, now we've got some slidey knots, and the the glue has had a chance to dry. It's not fully cure, but it's dry enough to do the next step, which is the fun part. I love my thread zapper. So it's just this little filament thingy, and you push the button and it gets hot and it melts the thread, and it works for nylon because nylon is a type of plastic. And you just push the button and cut it off. And then I kind of make that ball up a little bit there, and then push it in so that it becomes like a little round, little round spot. That'll help it also to not slide through, come undone. So do the other side. I sure hope you can see. If you're on YouTube, you can zoom in. Okay, I'm cutting it off with just a little extra scoops. We've got an issue here. Uh-oh. And it stinks too, by the way. Come on, you. Okay. Let's see. I am going to... It's actually probably fine. It's fine. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. So then the very last thing that I do is put a little dab of hypo-cement on those ends, just to further make sure that they are secure. And then we are done. Oh, almost done. Almost done. One more step. One more step. Okay. There's one more step, but I won't be able to do it. I should have done it before I did these little dots of glue. I can't do the last step. The last step is what I already showed you. So I'll show you again. Very last thing you do before you are done is you take your wax and you just swipe all around on every side from the last bead as far as you can get towards that macrame or guru bead section, and then you rub it in, put the wax in. Okay, do that on the other side. Try to get it all the way up to that bead, so that whole thing is coated. Rub it in with your fingers until it is back to its original color. Okay. Then slide these through, and you can see how stiff it gets, and that's temporary. Also, when you have a guru bead, it'll collect some of that wax inside of the bead, and that will continuously recondition your cord. And it also makes that hole smaller. It's really hard to get both of those threads through the guru bead. That's a nightmare. And it means, the larger the hole is, the easier it is. However, then you can't, then it doesn't hold secure, so you've got to, find the right balance between size of the hole and, well, yeah. Too big, it's just going to slip around. Too small, you're not going to be able to get the threads through. So Now this was one of my first malas that I ever made. So this was before I used another bead to tighten the beads. I used to do it with my fingertips, and it would make a hole in my nails. And I couldn't get them. I mean, I had to destroy my nails, and I also didn't put glue in this last knot. So you can see, you know, those extra things, that tightening it with another bead and that glue, it really makes a difference in securing the ends. But that's the last step. And then you have something that doesn't slide very easily. But, you know, that's what you want so that it doesn't come undone when you're wearing it. So, just grab it. And that is why I put the glue in those last knots, so that it's really strong. So, there you have it. That is how to make a hand-knotted Rasmala Jen Shipley style. Okay. Right, so I haven't lost my battery yet. So now I am going to show you one more tray of jewelry before I say goodnight. And then tomorrow I will show you how to make a simple twisted pendant. And I'll do it through making some selenite ornaments. And hold on, I'm going to take the headphones off. Don't go anywhere. I'm still here. Okay, so I have another tray here. This is a less expensive tray. And I have tons more stuff, so I'll probably show you more stuff tomorrow. But most everything on this tray, I think the most expensive thing is $55. So let's just start in the top corner. This is Tibetan black quartz. And I did secure it with some glue up at the top, so it's really secure. It's not going to slide or anything. I used the hypocement. And that's what the hypocement is designed for. It's designed for holding stones. This is $30. And I have matching chains. This is a beach rock that I picked up at Westport. It's green jasper. And I tumbled it in my tumbler. And this one is $55. And everything is wrapped with copper on this tray. It's all hypoallergenic. Okay, this is a $25 pendant. It is carnelian. Oh, I kind of need that, don't I? I thought I was going to get rid of you. Not you, the light. Oh, yeah, and I'm all waxy. My fingers are waxy. So I'm getting my jewelry waxy. Let me wipe my waxy fingers off. Dirty fingers. Okay, so that is a lovely carnelian tooth. It is translucent, transparent. Let's see if I can show. It's very red. Not really. It is very, very transparent red. Okay, so then we have blue lace agate, another one of these. It's a little different from the last one. Again, $25. These really simple ones are all $25. This one is $35. I found this stone. This is biotite mica schist. It's very sparkly, if you can see that. Let's see, this is phyllite. So these are metamorphic rocks. These are different phases in the growth of these rocks. And I collected these up at a lake in Canada, in British Columbia, Quesnel Lake. Yeah, again, this one's 40. And then here's just a simple little, I soldered it. This one is 45. So that's a titanium aura. This is 45. And that is just some kind of jasper. Here is another mica schist. This is 40. It's very, very sparkly. Found in the same location. This one's 45, and this is magnesite. Herringbone stitch. And this is another Westport rock that I found in Tumbled. It's green. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but it's a very pretty dark green, kind of swirly. And this is 60. I was going to say 55 because that was 55. Here's another mica schist. This one's a little further along towards phyllite. I think there's another name I'm forgetting too. $35 from Canada. This is kyanite. That is 45. Here's another magnesite, just a larger one. Nice hammered bale. You can see. Doesn't really want to focus when I get it too close. That is 45. We've got a little geode here. And this one is 35. Yeah, this is another stage in the whole metamorphic rock. When the mica and schist moves towards phyllite, I think that's the order of it, and this is the step in between, but don't quote me on this. I have to kind of review. I have to review my notes or the literature to be precise, to tell you exactly what that is. I do say on my Etsy, so when I wrote the listings, I figured everything out. This is phyllite. This is so pretty. don't know if you can see how sparkly it is. It's just, I mean, it's luminescent. Again, from Canada. And let's see, this one is 45. I think the last one was 45. Yeah, this one's 30, only because it was simpler, but the stone is fantastic. It is very, very iridescent. This is Phyllite. It's a nice piece. Canada. Thank you, Canada. Boy, I wish I could get closer. Okay, here's another Phyllite. Okay. And this is just a simple yellow jasper. And actually this is from Westport as well. I tumbled it. Picked it up on the beach and tumbled it. So this is a Washington native stone. And it's only 25. This would be a good boy pendant. All right, so that's all I'm going to show you tonight. I've got more trays. I've got a bunch more trays, but we'll just keep it simple. Here are some chains. So I've got quite a variety of already made chains to go with pendants that I have. And then if you want, custom chain, it'll take me a couple extra days to make it, depending on how many orders I have. It might take me a day. It also kind of depends on if I have any appointments or anything going on. Some of these have to be altered to fit through the bales on some of the pendants, but most of them, they fit like that. Those are very small little peridot beads. And there's all different lengths. So I've got a shiny rose gold plated brass. That plating lasts a long time. And then here is the kind of brassy version of that I use for most of my pendants. And then I have this style chain here. And then I've got the twisted knurled, whatever this is called. It looks a little better with some of the more chunky pendants. And then back to the flat chain. Then I have this chain. And this is a copper plated iron. Okay, all right, that's it. I'm done. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Have a good night, and I will catch you tomorrow night. Okay, it's gotta end everything. Gotta end. Ooh, Brandon Hesher joined. Hey! Oh, hey, everybody. Now I'm seeing who was online. I gotta kill it though. So everybody have a good night. Lots and lots and lots of love. Oh, how do I end? I'm figuring it out. End on Instagram. And end on Restream. Okay. All right, guys. Have a good night.